Charlie Kirk's death shocked America. Was it simply a tragic event, or was it something far more calculated? Beneath the surface, there are symbols, rituals, and words that suggest a much deeper conspiracy, one that may connect to Freemasonry, occult symbolism, and even the push toward a new world order. In this video, we'll break down the layers from the funeral language, to Masonic symbols, to the way crises are used to divide societies and consolidate control. This is not just about Charlie Kirk, it's about how power uses death, chaos, and myth to reshape reality. Part 1: The funeral as a stage. At first glance, Kirk's funeral looked like any other high-profile memorial. But listen carefully to the words spoken. FBI Director K.C. Patel closed his tribute with these words, "Rest well, my friend. The watch is ours. See you in Valhalla." Now, this is crucial. In Christian funerals, the language is typically, "Rest with Christ," or, "See you in heaven." Instead, Patel invoked Valhalla, the Hall of Fallen Warriors in Norse mythology. Why would a U.S. official use a pagan, warrior-centric concept for a conservative Christian leader? This was not a slip of the tongue. It was deliberate. Patel was reframing Kirk's death. Not as a Christian martyr, not even as a political casualty, but as a mythologized fallen warrior. Part 2: The language of warriors. The phrase, "the watch is ours," comes directly from military funerals. It is said when a soldier dies, meaning, "Rest, we will continue the guard." But Charlie Kirk was not a soldier. He was a political activist. So why military language? Because words are spells. Words frame reality. And in this case, Patel's words transformed Kirk from a man into a myth, a soldier of ideology, a sacrifice for a greater cause. In occult and esoteric traditions, language is not just communication, it is incantation. To declare Kirk's rest in Valhalla was to ritualize his death, to place him in a new mythological framework. Part 3: The symbol of the G ring. Another detail easily overlooked: Kirk's wife, Erica, wore a prominent gold ring with the Masonic symbol, G. Now, in Freemasonry, the G can stand for several things: God, geometry, or the great architect of the universe. To outsiders, it looks like respect for God. But within Masonic ritual, it represents esoteric knowledge, sacred geometry, and the hidden architecture of reality itself. By appearing at Kirk's funeral with this symbol, the message was clear: this was not purely a Christian ceremony. It was layered with Masonic ritual. The public saw tears and speeches. Insiders saw symbols of initiation, transformation, and the crafting of a modern myth. Part 4: From martyr to myth. This is how myth-making works. Step 1: A public figure dies suddenly and dramatically. Step 2: Language and symbols reframe the death into something larger than life. Step 3: The public is divided, emotionally inflamed, and redirected toward the goals of the elite. Kirk's death was not allowed to be a tragedy. It was ritualized into a transformation. He was elevated from politician to warrior, from man to myth, from Christian to fallen initiate. This is not about honoring him, it is about using him. Part 5: Ordo a flat Chow, order out of chaos. One of the central mottos of Freemasonry is Ordo ab Chow, order out of chaos. The formula is simple: create a crisis, watch the public panic, then offer a solution that grants the elite more power. This is the Hegelian dialectic. Thesis: the existing order. Antithesis: the crisis, the chaos. Synthesis: the new order, which always centralizes more control. Charlie Kirk's death and the way it has been framed is part of this process. It fuels division, anger, and even the possibility of civil conflict in America. And when chaos grows, the public cries out for security and accepts authoritarian measures. Part 6: Valhalla and Allah, the mirror of symbols. There's another layer here. The word Valhalla backwards contains Allah. Coincidence? Perhaps. But occultists and secret societies often use reversals, mirror language, and inversion to invoke hidden meanings. In Islam, Allah represents submission to the divine. In Norse myth, Valhalla represents eternal battle, eternal sacrifice. The two are opposites: submission versus endless war. By invoking Valhalla, Patel signaled Kirk's entry not into Christian heaven, not into peace, but into eternal struggle, eternal war. A myth fit for polarization, not reconciliation. Part 7: Manufactured terror and control. The system thrives on terror. Without crisis, there is no justification for surveillance states, censorship, or control. In the past, governments used foreign terrorism. Now, the enemy is domestic. White nationalism, school shootings, domestic extremists. Each crisis becomes a reason to expand state power. Charlie Kirk's death is being used exactly this way. Both sides of the political spectrum are inflamed. Conservatives call for retaliation. Liberals warn of domestic terrorism. And in the middle, the state grows stronger, feeding off fear. Part 8: The Path to the New World Order. This is where it all points: the New World Order. A society divided is easy to control. A society in chaos begs for safety. A society mythologizing warriors instead of Christ prepares itself for endless conflict. Every symbol, every ritual, every phrase at that funeral was designed to feed this machine. To take one man's death and turn it into a myth of war, a call to conflict, and a step toward global control. Conclusion: Charlie Kirk's death is more than a tragedy. It is a ritual, a message, and a warning. Do not be deceived by the symbols of power. Do not fall into the traps of chaos. Remember, the truth lies not in myths of warriors or promises of safety, but in vigilance, in discernment, and in refusing to be manipulated. Stay awake, stay free, and above all, question everything. Don't forget to subscribe.